extrapolate learning also on the specific example. I think what I learned is that I think there's a lot of credit to be given to the manufacturers, intermediaries, input providers for the effort they're putting in trying to put on the shelves sustainable product for the consumers. What I learned is that consumers' awareness is not very high, and therefore even doubled credit for those who are doing this without even having a great demand. One day, hopefully, when policymakers also will participate in this story and raise the bar for also consumers and increase awareness, maybe we will have more demand. But even more credit for doing all this effort without really having so much consumer pressure. So as I said, a lot of solutions, and each of you actually knows that you're working on this every day, that there are challenges, it's not easy, and that's also, I think, is the message. And not to be negative, but also to make sure that people know that it's not that simple. Go on and manage your suppliers. And many of you mentioned the word partnerships, collaborations, and many of you are from IUCN or are partners of IUCN, and I think this is a great opportunity to establish the collaborations. There are many members that work in the field, and this is an opportunity to really work in the field together to make this happen. But talking about the field, I think that we had an opportunity to having somebody that is one of those suppliers that listens to all these demands every day. And we thought it was a great opportunity to hear from his voice what is their experience from that side. So I'd like to welcome our colleague from Colombia.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you. Juan Carlos.
Hi, thank you. My name is Juan Carlos Ardila. I grew up in a coffee farm. I'm actually a farmer, second generation, and also a supplier of coffee and cocoa to certain companies. So just my view on this, integrating biodiversity in supply chains, from what we see from the field is the efforts to integrate first sustainability, but we see biodiversity is still very much like at fourth level down. You have people, planet, profit, and social, economic, and environmental dimension. Then in the environmental, you take the soil, the water, and then for biodiversity, much lower. So, funny enough, the farmers are surrounded by nature. They will go into agriculture, and then weeds are their enemy. Luz Marina, she's a farmer here, she calls them las plagas, the plagues. So, I am half rural, half urban, but when we see all these weeds and insects as enemies on the farm side, and that's why it's very important to see that to a certain point the agriculture and the farming became like the enemies of biodiversity. It's a paradox. So what the important is start to turn this around, things very concrete, like for example the case that you put where we need viable solutions for the farmers. We need applied knowledge. We need to build bottom-up solutions that are feasible, because what happened in the previous year, this is already past from what I see, is that, okay, we have on the one side the activists of the environmental conservation, like taking a very fundamental approach, and on the other side, my father considers that the shade blocks the sun, and the sun is productivity, and productivity is money. He says we leaves I don't pay to the bank. It's funny, he's a farmer, he's the guardian of the nature, but he's against it. So this is a joke, probably you've heard about the Dutchman that went to Switzerland and cut his vacations because, I said, what happened? I said, the mountains were blocking the view. So, exactly, the shade blocks the sun, he says. We stop this, yeah, sorry. And then there's a change of mentality already that I see from that side, at least. He still thinks like that, he's half persuaded. I am second generation, I'm fully persuaded that we need the shade, that the trees are not the enemy for coffee farming, because he grew up in the green revolution of the 80s, and then he wants to push productivity to extreme. I came 1 week ago from Peru. They turned their coffee growing into organic 95%. The rust came. They cannot fertilize with chemicals. They cannot use plaguicides. There's going to be a major catastrophe. This was the 5th country in production, and in 3 years it will disappear. And they're turning into low grades, low quality, and the buyers are abandoning them because of that. So we need convergence, we need harmony, we need applied knowledge, we need more awareness at the farmer level industry is key, is fundamental, because for us farmers, they decide their viable point, provided they consult us and look at our point of view. We're discussing after environment will be social, and then what is best practice. We need to look at the farmer point of view, but I'm glad that there's already convergence between industry, farming, institutions to get this done, so at the end the planet wins and the people too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for leaving.
No,
Thank you.
No, thank you
20
very
minutes
much
for, but it's only that
finding
20
out
minutes
what
presentation you've been given in your life.
She will never forget us.
When I did that,
my staff.
We're getting staff feedback. That's what I'm sort of coming in. I was like, okay, you have literally 5 minutes, belt it out there.
I sent you on
Yeah, some of them
don't
I just resisted.
they didn't want to because they couldn't not have the communication.
But you had too many other ones.
The other one, it will be on the web. I don't know what happens. There should already be uploaded. No, but it's fine to share because there's some pictures. No, that's I didn't want to know.
No, it's a brand. It's a very uncomfortable sort of. It's not the way the community normally want their information presented. So I had to say, listen, I mean, it's a new thing. It's called Ignite, our kind of corporate communicator. So that's what it's about. It's not about what's this stuff is on the Puma website. I mean, the whole thing is on the Puma website. We have no proprietary nothing. It's all on the Puma website.